The war had dragged on for 17 cycles, and Lieutenant Marcus Reed had seen enough death to fill 1,000 lifetimes. The battlefields of Proxima 7 were littered with the wreckage of both human and alien vessels, a testament to the brutality of a conflict neither side seemed capable of winning. He had long stopped counting the bodies, stopped memorizing the faces of those who fell beside him. Survival was the only currency that mattered now. The distress signal had come through during a routine patrol of the northern wasteland. His squadron had been reduced to 3 ships after the last engagement, and command had ordered them to investigate any anomalies in the sector. What they found was a crashed vessel of elegant design, its hull shimmering with an iridescent quality that marked it as belonging to the Valkara Empire. The enemy. Marcus approached the wreckage with his weapon raised, his boots crunching against the crystalline sand. His 2 remaining squadmates flanked him, their rifles scanning for threats. The ship's entrance had been torn open, and a trail of luminescent blue fluid led deeper into the vessel's interior. Blood, he realized. Alien blood. Against his better judgment, he followed the trail inside. The corridor was narrow, filled with strange symbols that pulsed with fading light. The ship's power was dying, and with it, any hope of survival for whoever remained inside. He should have called for extraction, should have reported the find, and let the intelligence division handle it. But something pulled him forward, a curiosity he couldn't quite explain. The trail led to what appeared to be a command chamber, and there, collapsed against a crystalline throne, was her. She was unlike anything he had ever seen. Her form was humanoid, but elongated, with skin that seemed to shift between shades of silver and pale blue. 4 arms hung limply at her sides, and a crown of what looked like living light flickered weakly above her head. Her eyes, large and multifaceted like cut gemstones, fixed on him with a mixture of defiance and fear. "Stay back," she commanded, though her voice was weak. She spoke in perfect English, though with an accent that made each word sound like music. "You are human. You should not be here." Marcus lowered his weapon slightly, though he kept it ready. His training screamed at him to call this in, to secure the prisoner and leave. But the blood pooling beneath her told him she wouldn't last that long. "You're bleeding out," he said simply. "I am aware," she replied, her breathing labored. One of her hands pressed against her side, where a jagged piece of metal had embedded itself. "It is of no consequence to you. Leave me to die with dignity." He studied her for a long moment. This was the enemy. The Valkara had invaded human space, had burned colonies, had killed millions. He had lost friends, had watched good people die because of her kind. Every instinct told him to walk away, to let nature take its course. Instead, he holstered his weapon and approached. "What are you doing?" Her voice rose in pitch, genuine alarm crossing her alien features. "You are not supposed to touch me, human." "You'll die if I don't," Marcus said, kneeling beside her. "I've got medical training. Let me look at the wound." "No." Her lower arms tried to push him away, but the movement was feeble. "You do not understand. I am Queen Lyra of the 7th Fleet. My skin, it is forbidden for any outside my bloodline to make contact. It will burn you, poison you. Your kind cannot survive it." Marcus paused, his hands hovering over her. He had heard stories of Valkara physiology, rumors that their nobility possessed defenses that made them untouchable. He looked at his gloves, standard-issue combat gear. They would have to be enough. "Then I guess we'll find out," he said, and gently moved her hand away from the wound. She gasped, her body tensing, but she didn't pull away. Perhaps she was too weak, or perhaps some part of her wanted to live more than she wanted to maintain her isolation. The metal had punctured deep, and the luminescent blood flowed freely. He worked quickly, using his field kit to clean the wound and seal it with synthetic tissue. His hands moved with practiced efficiency, the same way they had when treating countless human soldiers. "Why?" she whispered, her eyes never leaving his face. "We are enemies. I have ordered attacks on your worlds. I have killed your people." "Yeah," Marcus said, not looking up from his work. "And I've killed yours. Guess that makes us even." "That is not how it works." "Maybe it should be." He finished sealing the wound and sat back, examining his handiwork. "You'll live, but you need real medical attention. More than I can provide here." She stared at him in silence, her expression unreadable. Then, slowly, one of her upper hands reached out and touched his face. He flinched, but didn't pull away. Her skin was cool, almost electric against his, but there was no pain, no burning. Just contact. "You did not burn," she said softly, wonder in her voice. "The old warnings, they were wrong." "Maybe a lot of the old warnings were wrong," Marcus replied. A sound from outside made them both tense. His unit crackled to life, his squad mate's voice urgent. "Lieutenant, we've got incoming. Looks like a Valkara retrieval team. We need to move now." Marcus looked at Lyra, then at the entrance. He could leave her here, let her own people find her. Mission accomplished. Enemy officer saved. No complications. But something had shifted in the last few minutes, something he couldn't quite name. "Can you walk?" he asked. "Why does it matter?" "Because if you can, I'm getting you out of here. Your people won't know I helped you. They'll take you home, and you'll live to fight another day." "You would help me escape? After saving my life?" "I didn't save your life to watch you get blown up when the ship's core finally gives out." He stood and offered his hand. "What happens after is up to you. But right now, we need to move." She looked at his hand for a long moment, then slowly reached up and took it. Her grip was surprisingly strong as he pulled her to her feet. She swayed, leaning against him for support. They made their way through the dying ship, Marcus supporting most of her weight. His squad mates had already pulled back to their extraction point, providing cover fire against what sounded like automatic defenses from the approaching Valkara ships. He guided Lyra to a functioning escape pod and helped her inside. "Your people will find this signal," he said, activating the emergency beacon. "They'll get you home." She settled into the pod, her eyes never leaving his face. "I do not understand you," Marcus read. He hadn't told her his name, but somehow she knew it. "You defy every understanding I have of your species." "Yeah, well, you defied every understanding I had of yours." He moved to close the pod door. "Maybe that's a start." Her hand caught his wrist, her touch gentle. "If we meet again on the battlefield, then we'll do what we have to do," he finished. "But maybe, somewhere down the line, we won't have to meet on a battlefield at all." The pod door sealed, and he hit the launch sequence. It rocketed away into the sky just as the retrieval ships came into view. Marcus ran, his squad mates covering his retreat as the crashed vessel finally exploded behind them. On the flight back to base, his commanding officer demanded a full report. Marcus told him about the crashed ship, the structural damage, the lack of survivors. It was technically true, he reasoned. He had found no one who could have survived without intervention. That night, alone in his quarters, Marcus looked at his hands. They were unmarked, unblemished. No burns, no poison. Just the memory of cool skin and the weight of a choice that could have gone either way. 3 weeks later, a strange transmission came through on a secure channel. It was brief, just a few words in that musical accent he recognized immediately. "The old warnings were wrong about many things," Lieutenant read. "Perhaps it is time we wrote new ones." The war continued, but something had changed. Small gestures appeared on both sides, prisoners treated with unexpected dignity, civilians evacuated before bombardments, field hospitals respected as neutral ground. It was subtle, barely noticeable among the larger conflict, but it was there. And Marcus Reed, who had seen enough death to fill 1,000 lifetimes, allowed himself to hope that maybe, just maybe, he might live to see something else.